Remove any Make America Great Again insignia from your vehicle, off the front of your house. Don't wear the hats and don't answer questions. Now we're starting to see people on the left side of government saying that they are going to begin asking, seeing, targeting, and attacking individuals who are associated with the Republican side of politics and government. They're threatening to take children out of the houses, attack kids at the bus stops. We're starting to see them say that they're going to bring real physical and violent pain in direct threats against a political party to anybody who has an association with that party. So your actions, the visibilities that you give to the rest of the world could cause attacks on your children as they're waiting at a bus stop. Make sure you tell your kids not to answer any questions. Say your parents are apolitical. They hate the entire way that these things are happening. Please act now. We're starting to see this across the entire internet. It's just not the loudest mouths that you are witnessing. Please act today. We do have people warning about this all across social media.
An urgent warning for all of MAGA. If you're going to a hospital, make sure you don't wear anything political. Make sure that you don't state your political beliefs, and make sure if you're listening to videos like my videos on the internet that you have earbuds in, that you have headphones on. Because we keep seeing healthcare workers come out and say atrocious things like they wouldn't help us in a horrible situation. Oh, Eric Martindale, you made some statements, but...
So here we have like an anesthesiologist saying that they would not perform, or more dangerously, they will negligently perform anesthesia for surgeries against people who are associated with the Republican side of government. They say that this is their ethical right and they stand behind their education. They own their own businesses. They can refuse anybody. But the real concern is that your paramedics, your law enforcement, your firefighters, imagine if firefighters just started letting houses burn down. You cannot prove negligence when it's done by a psychopath who literally knows exactly what to do and what not to do to cause maximum pain against an individual. So we see a discrimination happening right now on political lines, but the biggest threat is, of course, that they are going to, start hurting people for no reason. Let's keep on moving.
It's gonna really suck for the red hats when the shoe is on the other foot and people start going door to door asking if they voted for Trump in the last round or if they still support MAGA. Oh, I'm sorry.
So I'm going to read it because there's a little bit of music playing in the background. She says, did that make you feel threatened? Do you think that a social punishment is not a thing? You think that everybody's ready to do all this for another 40 to 50 years or however long it takes them? She laughs. If you used any critical thinking, you would take a look around for 2 seconds and realize that numbers-wise, you are screwed. So again, they're threatening to go door to door, asking political questions. Now, how will you up this on your operational security? Well, somebody in a collared shirt with a piece of written paper, they print it out at home and it's on a clipboard. They walk up and say, we're with the independent party. We're asking for political affiliations in your neighborhood. What's your affiliation? I don't have it. But a lot of people will say, oh, I'm a Democrat. Oh, I'm a Republican. And then this is a private source that now has your information. These people are psychotic, folks. They're literally building databases that are back-end run by artificial intelligence tied into multiple technology-driven systems that are doxing house addresses, telephone numbers, business associations, children's names, where they go to school. All of this information becomes available to them. So we do see a real targeted attack coming across the United States of America.
Oh, hello, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Kakudash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations goes out to you brothers in the highways and byways. Salutations also goes out to you brothers and few sisters that tune in to listen and learn. I'm the brother Malak from the Diligent Soldier Camp here in Boston, Mass. As always, I pray this lesson be edifying to the elect. The name of this one will be Civil War is Imminent. Civil war is imminent, all right? That word imminent going into near or close at hand, you know what I mean, impending, okay? Civil war is definitely impending, man. Okay, and just based on this video and other videos that you've seen online, on the news, the way people are expressing themselves, both politicians and even these so-called journalists, man, even these so-called news anchors, man. Just the way everyone is expressing themselves, man, you know that's where it's heading to, man. And what's crazy is that, you know, the majority of the citizens is thinking that, right, and acting according to that. But you could clearly see that this is being fueled through the media, through politicians. You know what I mean? You know, the was it the senator or governor of Minnesota? You know, calling for people to attack ice cubes and shit. You know, that's totally I guess I would say against the way protocol goes over here in Babylon, man. You know, then again, all protocols are broken. You know what I mean? They do what they want when they want to do it. You know what I mean? This devil is infamous for you know, making rules and breaking them and modifying them. You know what I'm saying? Along the way, changing the goalposts, as we say. But nonetheless, man, you know, I mean, there you have it, man. You got Edomites planning to go after other Edomites. You know what I'm saying? And Jake, you're gonna be in there. You're gonna also get rolled up on, walked up on, and asked, interrogated almost, you know, of your political, I don't know, beliefs or however the fuck you say that phrase, you know. You know, the things that that your views, your political views, man, and for the sole purpose of knowing who you voted for. You know, before you got asked that question, man. You know, because people want to know if you was with Trumpito and the ice cubes and all the crazy shit, or you was with Biden and all their chaos, right? Because left wing, right wing, same bird, and it's all a bunch of satanic, demonic, you know, infrastructure or government, you know. And yeah, man, you know, I mean, these people voted for this man, all right? And as the scriptures say, as the people are, so as the governor is, so are the people, I think it is. You know what I mean? And it makes perfect sense because, you know, these people voted for Trump based on his political views, okay? And now you have these, I don't know what fucking side these are. I guess this is, I don't know if it's left or right. I those phrases like that, I don't know, but I will call it out. The Democrats are apparently the ones coming out and making these threats and you know, talking all this shit because they're upset, you know, of how Trump, the Republicans, and Ice Cubes have been handling this whole immigration situation, right? And they see how citizens, Babylonian citizens, are getting put to death, are getting many times incarcerated also, okay? And, you know, as if they're not upset that they're going after Jakes, you know what I mean? Because you do have, you know, political parties that, you know, for their benefits will support Jake, you know, will fuck with Jake, will deal with Jake, but it's only for their agendas, for them to meet their political, you know, goals or whatever. The point is, though, you have a lot of citizens from even back from the 80s, 60s, 70s, 80s to now, man, through the whole civil rights movement, that were in the front lines of, you know, advocating and protesting for Jakes, man. So it's a lot of mixed emotion. It's not only how they treating Jakes, you know, but also how they're treating their own people and how they're being put to death. And these people are like, you know what? We're gonna get our lick back. We're gonna get our get back. This is why we know something is definitely gonna go down, maybe even before those so-called midterms, man. Because this man is not, this nigga's not winning. You know, he's just not gonna win. And You know, if he gets put out, then the other crazies get put in. So no matter what, it's gonna be a shit show. You know, the shit show must continue. Okay, but yeah, you know, they're coming out saying that they're gonna get their lick back. They're gonna get back at them, and they're gonna go house to house. And you know, you hear the woman at the end saying, you know, like, what are you gonna say or do when they come knocking on your door? You know what I mean? And it's a valid question, to tell the truth, man. And at the end of the day, this whole thing, I find it beautiful, man. You know what I mean? I'm loving it, because I love to see Esau against Esau. You know what I'm saying? And just the irony of the whole thing, how they're losing this country that they once stole through blood and murder, okay? And now it's being taken from them in such a way where it's that, you know, them 48ers is just finessing the fuck out of them. You know what I mean? And as much as we want to see the 48ers also get their due judgment, right? You know, we know that the Lord has a plan, and that everything has its time, okay? And that soon that will come, okay? Soon that will come, man. But, you know, I don't want to make this too long, because I know this post-production video was a good like 5 or 7 minutes. So I'll just get into these scriptures right away. First one I want to bring out is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 12, okay? Because this is exactly what you're seeing right now. For them to boldly say, yeah, I'm gonna, you know, for a doctor to say that he's gonna take who he wants to take, when, you know, they always had that right, but rarely do they not see someone, because everybody they see equals money for them. You know what I mean? But now it cut deep, man. You know, Esau, you know, we're living in those times, man. This is definitely the time, man. The Egyptian against the Egyptian, man. All right, let's just get these scriptures. This is the book of Matthew 24 and 12. It says, and because iniquity shall abound, right? Iniquity being sin on top of sin. All right, there's a lot of sin on top of sin in this country. All right, as a matter of fact, the scripture says that her iniquity, her sins on top of sins, have reached or pierced the clouds, if I'm not mistaken, have reached the heavens. Okay, this is how much iniquity Babylon by itself has. Okay, let alone the rest of these Edomites, how they carved and basically took lands over. Okay, after putting those crowns in their heads, and even after having everything, they still war with each other. You know what I mean? Because it's just, you know, he's the perfect example of who not to have in office, man. Who not to have as a ruler. You know what I mean? Because even among himself, he will destroy himself, man. You know, scriptures say in the Apocrypha, in the book of Sirach, that he that does evil to himself, to who shall he do good, right? Or to who shall he be good, you know? And that goes for anybody, right? You could apply that to anybody, but in reality, man, that goes to the Edomites, man, the so-called white man. All right, this man fucks his own people over to reach his means, man, his goals, you know? And, you know, how can you expect any type of mercy or rationale from a people like this, man? This is why you have, you know, these women and these men, you know, talking about how they're gonna get at each other and all this stuff, you know, and, you know, because they're sick of the shit, man, and this is how they are, you know. This is the end result of this man ruling, you know. His people are in uproar to the point where they want to get at him, you know. Let's keep going. The word's wax code is G5594, right? And it goes to Suko, aka psycho, right? And the word psycho literally means irrationally or aggressive, cruel, an irrationally or aggressive, cruel person. And the adjective is, you know, a person exhibiting irrationally aggressive or cruel behaviors, man, and threatening people, men, women, and children, innocent by innocent I mean, you know, haven't done any wrong over here as far as breaking the laws for them to even receive this type of behavior. That is psycho, man. Okay, you got to be a psychopath to go after children, you know. You have to, man, you know, and I mean, I get why they're even meeting Ice Cube, the Ice Cube people, you know, with that type of vibe, if so to say, right, or energy, and it's because that's exactly what the Ice Cube people, that's the same energy that they were given. You know what I mean? Instead of trying to talk things out and make connections with communities, so the community can out these so-called dangerous people that are in these communities that these people are going, these Ice Cube agents are going after. That will go a long way, making some type of connection, but they don't. Instead, it's almost like just fuel to just, I would say, for lack of another word or way of putting it, they threw fuel at logs that weren't doing anything, and then they lit it up, and now they keep throwing fuel at it. And by all that, I mean that these people, when they weren't going after these people, and I'm talking about Ice Cubes, when they was going after people, they went about it in such a way where it was like, this is clearly to make people upset, to get like the masses roused up, pissed off. The whole thing is like out of order. It doesn't seem like, all right, if y'all were trained to escalate and to make everything worse, and people to go from peaceful protesting to actually getting aggressive with you guys because of the way you guys are handling the situation. And now you're seeing the other side meeting them with that same energy as far as threats go, because they don't have the ball in their court. You know what I mean? No matter what, legally, these men are doing what they're doing. They have the legal right, even if it's not constitutional, right? Because the Constitution says that even though some institution could call themselves federal or throw in the word laws or whatever in there, it doesn't mean that it's recognized by the Constitution. It's actually repugnant to the Constitution. Okay, so this man, as I said earlier, man, this man makes up rules and he breaks them himself. You know what I mean? Because he could do that. This is how that proves also that Esau is the one who's in charge, man. Because the scriptures tell you that the Lord was going to come back, pursuant to the book of Isaiah and Ezekiel also, man, that he was going to come back and Esau was going to be basically in charge. All right. Isaiah 19:2, and I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, kingdom against kingdom, man. And this is what you are seeing. Well, in other words, you're seeing the beginning stages of this, man, because even though, what is it, the left side? Ice Cube and Trumpito is the left side or some shit, I don't know. The left side getting at the right, and now the right want to get at the left, or vice versa, whoever fucking the Democrats are, right, or lefties or righties, I don't know. I don't know the phrase. It never sticks to my mind like that. All I know is Democrats, Republicans, and anybody else is in the midst of all that. But yeah, man, there you have it, man. The Lord is putting this energy out there, man. That energy that you see, that vibe, that spirit that you see them going against their own people because of the maltreatment of other immigrants that are not a part of their people, and because how they're treating also their own, right, other Egyptians. You have a set of Egyptians pissed the fuck off because the first set of Egyptians were already pissed off, right? The first set of Egyptians, the Ice Cubes and everybody else that supports it, these are the people that always felt like this, and they needed Trumpito to put that battery on their back, right? And the Lord used this man as a tool, right? The scriptures tell you that the Syrian is a tool to the Lord, man. I forget what scripture that's in. I'll try to look for it, but he does with that tool what he wants, man. Okay. And so everything that Trump is doing is all orchestrated at the end of the day by the Lord, man, by Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, man. All right. And this is what we're seeing. The Egyptian against the Egyptian is only going to get worse. There's going to be a lot of blood spilling. A lot of more people are going to be put to death in the most gruesome and messed up and coldest, heartless manner, man. Because the hearts of many are going to wax psycho, man, are going to go crazy, man. All right. I mean, look at that, man. They're threatening children. The only things younger than children are infants. You know what I mean? And we already know there's people that don't give a shit about any age you're in, man. You know? It's Edomites, man. We got to get the fuck out of here, man. These things must happen, man. So this is why we're in the spirit of calling these things out, right? Watching and praying and making these lessons to edify the sheep and to warn the sheep also, so the sheep could see these things, man. These are all prophecies of the scriptures, man. Okay, and they're comforting, man, once you understand them, because, you know, though we're a compassionate people and we don't want to see people getting hurt, at the end of the day, though, you know, as men of the Lord, as hopeful elects, man, like, we got to see past that. You know, this man deserves to be put down, man. Okay, and the scriptures tell you that in the book of Revelations that vengeance is in the Lord's heart. So he ain't having no compassion for these devils, man. Okay, these devils are turning up every fucking day. Every day they turning up more and more, okay? More bolder and more bolder. And that's the Lord turning up that spirit on them, man. And it's going to get to the point where it's going to be at madman level, that the Lord is going to max that level of hatred out this man, yo. And by that time, you know, it's going to be way too late, right? Even though, as the scripture says, then shall thy people be willing. Because as soon as Jake needs help and Jake got his tail between his legs and he can't get out of whatever situation he dug himself in, that's when they want to think about the Lord, man. Okay, that's when they think about Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. You know, and these times is coming, man. And if you don't have the Lord's hedge of protection, you're assed out like a fat bitch in the beach, man. At the beach. I haven't said that joke in a long time, so it didn't come out right. But yeah, man, you assed out, man. You done. All right, this is the book of 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1. It says, "This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come." That word perilous going into dangerous, right? "For men shall be lovers of their own selves." This is what's going to be happening around this time. Papi, I'm making a lesson, okay? And "For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy." I mean, you're seeing that a lot, man. Both in Israel, right? Those of us that know there were Israelites and we teach, and out of it, you know, and the heathens in the rest of the world, man. "Without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God." Man, people want to feed their own belly. You know, instead of doing the will of the Lord, they want to do their own thing. "Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof." Right? So they think there's some type of power because they're full of themselves, right? As the scripture says, give me neither or is it riches or poverty, right? Because with riches, I'll forget the Lord. I'll forget you, Lord, right? And I'll forget you and be proud and act like I don't need you, right? I'll just forget about the Lord. And if I'm too poor, I'll curse the Lord, you know, because, you know, hey, man, when you don't got the spirit of the Lord, you know, and you're all assed out in the, you know, homeless in the street, you'll be out there with demons on you and bugging out, you know. And a lot of those people were the ones that, instead of asking the Lord, thanking the Lord for what they did have, even if they didn't have nothing but their life and their breath, you know, they went on and they cursed the Lord, man. But you see a lot of homeless jakes, man, that are the most giving, you know, are the most content, you know what I'm saying? And I can't see the Lord being, you know, treating them the same way he treats these other men and women that are out there just bugging out, talking to themselves, just completely bugged out, you know. Nevertheless, man, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. So a lot of people are especially now with this, you know, social media, are proud, man. They're full of themselves. They have no fear of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. They have no fear of the future and what the future may hold. It's just like they think they're untouchable, man. You know, grown men that act like children, grown men and women that act like teenagers. You know, when we all had that time in our early 20s, late teenage years that we thought we were untouchable. Our parents couldn't tell us nothing. We thought we had it all figured out. That's exactly how you got a lot of people, man, especially these Edomites. They're proud as fuck. And you can't really talk too much to a proud person. As a matter of fact, over here it tells you, but denying the power thereof, right? Because they denied the Lord. Though they think themselves that they're a God, they denied the Creator themselves, right? But here at the end it says, from such turn away. So all these proud ass people that are high-minded, that think that they're a God, but deny God himself, you know, you got to turn away from that, man. Whether it be your own mom, your own dad, your siblings, you know, other family or friends or whatever, so-called friends, man. Anybody talking like that with that type of spirit, man, you gotta give them 100 feet, man, or they gotta give you 100 feet, you know, of space. You don't need, especially nowadays, you don't need none of those spirits on you, man, because spirits hop on people, man. Okay, this is 2nd Esdras 15, and I'll start at 14. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein." All right, woe is sorrow, and this one is gonna be destruction and sorrow, right? Destruction and sorrow to the world and them that dwell therein, right? Which is everybody on this planet. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, right? These ICBMs, they're warmed up, man. You know, they're at the ready. You know, they're constantly being what's it called, managed and looked at and maintained or whatever, so they could be on point when they have to be shot out. Okay, it says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth near, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands." Right. So you're seeing this sedition carry on and be basically developing, man. And, you know, in real time as we speak. You know, and these are the things that we know about, you know, that there's militias and all types of activities that's going on that we don't even know about, you know what I mean, that we're not privy to. But this is why we need the Lord's hedge of protection and why we have to fret not, because the Lord got us, you know, the Lord has his people. Now, if you're a too third-minded person, yeah, you're definitely asked out. You're not going to have the Lord to protect you from everything, man. And so you're going to get those cherries on top, which are those ICBMs, right? AKA the swords that of destruction that drove nigh. All right, that's going to be the cherry on top to stop all this bullshit, you know, to end all this bullshit. Verse 15 says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor their princes." That's going into their governors and public officials and whatnot. Okay, it's going to get to a point where they're not going to give a shit. We can't get to the 1%ers. We're going to get at you, the politicians that are put in place to keep us docile, right? To complete that illusion of, oh yeah, you voted, you know, you're our constituents, you put us here in office, but the whole time they fucking you over. Okay, it says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor their princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Right, they're gonna do what they want to do, and these people are gonna be pissed off. So yeah, you're gonna have Esau as a madman, you know what I mean, going after Jake, but even right before that, you're gonna have Esau as a madman going after other Edomites, you know, because they know that at the end of the day, they're gonna figure out once and for all that it was Esau, it was their own. They have been the problem, you know, forever, you know, since the beginning they have been the problem. I think there's a video circulating online how there's a Edomite saying, you know, we're the problem. We always been the problem. You know what I mean? And that's something that's being said out loud. They all know that, though. They know that. This is why they're coming out with their whole, you got Matt Walsh and all these other guys talking about, you know, to be proud of your heritage. Yeah, because that's all you got. Your history is all you have. That's your culture. Violence, blood, stealing, you know? That is Edomite culture right there. Being the crooked of the earth. Being the devil. The goddamn devil that the Bible speaks of. That's your culture, man. That's who you are. You know? You have nothing else is tied up to humanity, man, but your place on earth to play your position, and that's it, you know. And then, you know, you're gonna get bundled up, all of y'all, and deleted, man, off the face of the earth, man. The Lord himself doesn't want you to feel your faces, your filthy faces on earth, man. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings or princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able to. All right, and that's soon going to come. I mean, it's so, you know, when the demic was around, we got a glimpse of that. There was cities that you couldn't go. You know, I mean, there was checkpoints in certain states. Okay, in countries, there was certain cities you couldn't even go, or your city you couldn't leave. And that's something that they want to do, because all they want to do is put pressure on you and make you feel all fucked up and all messed up and just despair. You know what I mean? Pressure from above, pressure from below. That's what they go by, man. You know, but don't get it twisted. All this is being orchestrated, man. All this is all controlled chaos, man. Being orchestrated by Esau himself, man. Okay, and these people talking about that there's reports of Democrats, you know, supposedly going after Republicans and asking them for their political views and blah, 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 blah. Don't have no insignia, don't do this, don't do that. It don't fucking matter, man. The pride that's in your face is going to show that y'all MAGA or Democrats, because y'all proud to be who y'all roll with, man. And both sides always ends up fucking the people over. And by the people, I mean you Edomites that put up these so-called constituents, you know, you constituents vote on your people and put them up in office, and all they do is play you. All they do is use you. But the beautiful thing is that Edomites are starting to wake up. But even more beautiful is they're waking up and it's too goddamn late for them to wake up. You know what I'm saying? Because it's over. They're waking up just to see their so-called American nightmare go to shit. Okay? It says, and a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able to. They're thinking of shutting things down again soon, man. You got this new dis-ease is out there. I forget the name of it right now, man. I was just listening about it yesterday. But anyways, you know, pestilence is still something that's going on. You know, even though it's not happening crazy over here in Babylon. In other places it is, but soon, definitely Babylon's gonna receive it, you know, and there's not gonna be no way of denying it, you know. It says, verse 18 says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. All right, so you're gonna have a lot of these tough guys, whether they're in MAGA, whether they're in the Democrats, or they're far in between, whatever, that talk a good one about how they hate Jason and hate, you know, the Japs and the Joes and the this and the that's or whatever. But these are the first ones that are going to be crying like bitches, all right? Like a bunch of women, okay? And afraid, holding their loins, okay? For the fear of the things that they're seeing upon the earth, man, all right? Because the Lord is going to humble the fuck out you niggas, man. You proud-ass Edomites, man. This is exactly why everything is happening. It's because of your pride. Your pride deceived you, man. So much so that it was your Achilles heel. Achilles heel is how you say it? I forget how you say that. It was like your number one weakness, man. Was loving that pride, to be saturated in that hubris, you know. And that's why the Lord is gonna get you, because that pride has got you blind to the fact that you're blindsided by the things that are going to bring you down, basically, man, because of your pride. And it's beautiful because the Lord let you achieve a lot, right? And you got proud that way. He got you mad proud by letting you achieve a lot. And that's exactly how he's going to get you, man. This is why it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God, man, because, yo, he knows how to get you. You know? I say that to myself first and foremost, man, but ain't no joke, man. Once you understand the fear of the Lord, you really captivate that, man. You know that the Lord could jack you up, okay? And you may not be shivering at the moment, but you goddamn scared, man. You know, I know I fear the Lord. You know. Jump down to verse 19. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. And this could be like your neighbor, the one that you was just fishing with a week ago, and now he's up in your shit, going through your pantry, pushing your kids out the goddamn way, you know, hog tying your lady to throw her behind the fucking Silverado and take her back to the ranch. You know, and do God knows what to her, man. Because that's how Esau rolls. But then you Jakes also gonna invade each other. Here it is, y'all wanted to support Esau this whole time. The Lord's gonna put you in a position where, you know, you're gonna have to Salakia. The Lord's gonna put you in a position, man, where, you know, you're basically going to realize that you were deadly wrong, you know. You were deadly wrong, because you're gonna go against your own people. You might, you know, get a few licks and get a few Edomites and shit, but the Lord's gonna get your ass too. Nobody escapes, man. Like, just like the Beatnuts song, no escaping it. Nobody escapes the Lord, man. And a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, right? Whether it be with a literal sword, machetes, you know what I mean? Goddamn bamboo sticks or a Uzi. It don't matter. That's a sword. And spoil their goods, right? Take their goods. You know, anything that you have that's worth it, it's going to be booty. It's going to be basically spoils of not so much war, but you know, people running up in your house and taking your shit. And spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Since there's no food, you know how you hungry, you get grumpy? They call it hangry. You're gonna see a lot of hangry motherfuckers out here, man. A lot of hangry women, a lot of hangry men, a lot of dead children. You probably won't even see a lot of children, man, because shit, man. It's gonna get really, really fucked up. It's gonna get really fucked up, man. We're gonna need the Lord. We're gonna need the Spirit of the Lord, all right, to maintain us through that, man. Right? Because the scripture says that wisdom shall be the stability of your time, man. And that's that Spirit of the Lord on us, so we won't bug out, you know, because we'll be like these tough guys, crying, weeping like women holding their loins, man, because of the things that are going on, because they don't understand it. You see, they don't understand it, but we do. Those in the know exactly what the Lord is going to be doing, or what to expect, at least, because it's gonna be way more than what we expect, but what we expect is good enough to keep us stable, all right? And to not shock us to the point where you're like, oh my God, I can't move forward, you know? The Spirit of the Lord is gonna be on brothers, man, on his elect, to, you know, be pilgrims on earth and walk or swim or fucking row a boat to wherever we have to, you know, respectfully go to, and the Lord redeeming us, you know, when it's time for that search and destroy mission of the Lord, man. You know, searching out the elect and destroying everything else in sight, man. All right, and I'll leave you with this last word, Mark 3:24, man. A kingdom divided by civil war will collapse, man. And you know, I said all that, everything I said in this lesson, really going so it could really fall onto this scripture alone, man, because this is exactly what's going on. Whether you an Edomite or a Jake, but if you're, you know, in this man's system, an Esau system, and voting and you know, hoping for normality to come back and all this other bullshit, you know, you're gonna get caught up. You know what I'm saying? And that civil war, because you're a civilian to this place. You know, we're you know, us in the know, we're not civilians here. More than we are, we're not civilians more than we are captives, man, behind enemy lines, and we know that, all right? Because to this day we're, as it says in the book of Habakkuk, we're yet in our captivity to this day, man. All right, so we're captives over here, man, in a kingdom that's divided, all right, and it's gonna collapse. This is the NLT, Mark 3:24. A kingdom divided by civil war will collapse, man, because Esau can't. How does the scripture go? Satan casting out Satan, man, out of his own house. He got half of the fucking Edomites in this country going after the other half of the Edomites. It's pretty much a wrap. I mean, you can't literally take out all your opposition. Some of them are gonna slip through the cracks, and it's never gonna end. They're gonna be populating. You know, if protesting and somewhat rights are still a thing in this man's world, you know, eventually people are gonna rebel. So like the Lord has to just put a complete stop to this man. He served his purpose already, man. You know what I mean? He was a perfect example of how not to do it, man. Okay? But yeah, man, nonetheless, civil war is imminent, man. You know? And I pray this lesson was edifying. Yeah, man, in closing, I want to give all honors and glory and praises to our power, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Kakudash. Double honors to the apostles of GMS who teach and rule well. Salutations to your brothers in the highways and byways. Salutations also goes out to your brothers and few sisters that tune in to listen and learn, the hopeful elect, man. To you all I say Shalom, Ababa, Ball, and Kwam, Yasharallah. Shalom.